Breaking news! A new episode of Let's Be Frank starting now!
Hello all! I have been waiting to do this video for what, almost 3 years? Trust me, I wanted to do this a lot sooner. But me and tier lists just haven't really been getting along ever since the cheese tier list video, which is the last tier list I've done. I always had such a hard time uploading my own pictures. You don't care. I'm sorry. You don't care. Basically, the bottom line is we're back to hopefully doing more tier lists. And after so long, we're back to talking about Florida malls. That was one of my earliest videos, and it's finally time for part 2. But before we jump into that, this was the previous tier list, but it looks a little ugly, and I made some different decisions as far as where mall placement should be. So this is the new tier list. The updated one, the pictures look a lot better. You know which mall is which with the title now. It looks a lot better and a little bit different. This is the official tier list that we're gonna go with moving forward, and the one that's gonna be added to today. We have 9 new malls to talk about today, so let's go ahead and jump right into those now. The first new mall for today is the Merritt Square Mall in Merritt Island. This mall was pretty nice. It wasn't anything super special, but it had a unique feel to it, and some of the aesthetic choices were very charming. Now, it's been a long while since I've been to a lot of these malls, but I would definitely go back to this one soon. It was very cool. Not to mention, this mall did have a pretty nice movie theater in it, and honestly, that is not a downside. Movie theaters tend to attract more people to the mall. You know, you get there 45 minutes, a half an hour early, and then you just can hang out in the mall, walk the shops while you wait for your movie. It's not a bad thing. It's a good pull. Trust me, it's super solid. Next up on our list, we're talking about University Mall in Clearwater. Alright, so this mall had some potential, but it wasn't really that special. The movie theater was pretty nice, but besides that, the whole mall just felt unkept. It appeared as though renovations were being made, which had caused a lot of stores to not be open, and the atmosphere was definitely an old one. All in all, this mall wasn't terrible. It would have been an average mall if more stores were just open, and it kept a bit better care of itself. So this mall lands in the C tier, kind of on the lower end. Up next is the Regency Square Mall, located in Jacksonville. Okay, so the Regency Square Mall isn't the greatest mall. Upon first glance, it seems really inviting and friendly. There's a train ride for kids that takes place near the entrance of the mall. It's got this cute track, it goes up and down, it's really nice, and I was surprised how detailed it was. Also, the food court was themed so well, and it definitely stands out amongst all other food courts in other malls. However, with all that being said, nothing else about this mall is really worth noting. There just isn't much. It's kind of bland, and it definitely could use a little remodeling. So, due to that, I put this mall in D tier. It's a high D, don't get me wrong, but a really nice food court can only get you so far in an otherwise bland mall. Now we're talking about West Shore Plaza, located in Tampa. Okay, so this is not a bad mall by any stretch of the imagination. I would have put it in A tier, but for some odd reason, there just seemed to be a strange vibe around the mall. It's really hard to explain, but honestly, this is a mall I would totally return to regardless of the strange vibe. Perhaps it was just a fluke. It did have some pretty unique stores you don't normally see. Unique restaurants too. There was a grilled cheese place that was super duper good. It definitely deserves an upper B tier rating. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I have been waiting to talk to you guys about this mall for years. The Aventura Mall, located in Aventura, is Florida's biggest mall, and it's amazing, you guys. This mall is easily, by far, the best mall yet. It's huge, has so many fancy high-class stores, which normally in higher-class malls like the Mall Millennia, I would see as a downside, just because there's not a lot for the common man to do. But no, the Aventura Mall just, it just elevates these fancy stores, and you can't help but want to look at all the clothes, watches, accessories that you know you can't afford. It's just so fun to explore. And I'm not sure why, but it feels like it has just a much more approachable atmosphere than, like I just mentioned, the Mall Millennia. And they have those expensive stores in common. Just to prove to you guys how fancy this mall is, there is literally a stand located in the middle of the mall that sells caviar and the most divine chocolates ever. There's all kinds of high-class stores like Gucci, Louis Vuitton. It's just simply the nicest place to be. There is quite literally nothing to complain about in this mall, except for maybe the crowd size, but even then, it's not enough to be obnoxious. Again, I say, best mall yet. Easy S-tier mall. But after coming off of that high, we've got to dip down a little low and talk about the Lake Square Mall, located in Leesburg. The Lake Square Mall is another mall that definitely feels like it'll be going under soon. That is, until you get to the back of the mall and see that there's a massive arcade. And that's not just an arcade, no. At the same time, it's a bowling alley, full bar, there are pool tables, and a go-kart track. Not to mention an axe-throwing place? Little room? It's crazy. This mall looks so vacant until you get back there, and then it looks like the most poppin' place ever. That one giant room is home to so many things, you could spend an entire day in there. Unfortunately, though, the rest of the mall just isn't special. It's old and rather empty, and the arcade alone can't save it entirely. So, because most people who go to the arcade probably don't even pay the mall any attention, same with the moviegoers at the AMC theater there, I'm simply forced to put this mall in the D tier. It's a shame too, because the arcade's just so awesome, but if the two buildings weren't connected, they would truly have nothing to do with each other. So, as far as the mall goes, D tier mall. But S tier arcade. We've had a decent amount of middle ground malls this video, and they're going to continue with the Oaks Mall in Gainesville. Now, it's a very clean, modern mall. The only problem with it is its size. It's very small. It has a Hot Topic and a GameStop, but most stores are regular and not abnormal. The food court is also small, fitting, but the options are very nice. There's really not much to say. I kind of feel like it's a more modern or upkept version of the Volusia Mall, which I didn't specifically state earlier, but I put the Volusia Mall in B tier just because people got mad at me for putting it in S tier, like it doesn't belong there. So yeah, the Volusia Mall's in B tier. Bite me, that's where it's staying. Anyway, sorry, that was a tangent. The Oaks Mall. So yeah, pretty standard mall, but the fact that there's a bubble tea shop, it's exquisite. Some of the best bubble tea I've gotten, and that's all I got to say. B tier mall. Not to be confused with the Lake Square Mall, we are now going to talk about the Lakeland Square Mall, located in Lakeland. Yes, it gets confusing, so let's just roll with it. This mall is definitely a low B tier, but the food court was pretty nice, almost equivalent to Altamont. Some parts of the mall seemed a little empty, but it did have a Hot Topic and an FYE, so that's a big plus. It did have a movie theater though, so big plus there. Anyway, this is a B-tier mall. Alright, last mall of the day. We're talking about the Orange Park Mall, located in where else? Orange Park. At the lower end of the A tier, we have the Orange Park Mall. Now, this mall was really nice. It kinda had a college town sort of feel, what with all the advertisements for local sports teams and ads that urged you to join the military, which didn't work on me or Katrina, but you know, they can try. The food court was really pleasant as well. It felt very homey and like a good spot to rest for a while. Not to mention the puppy store. As someone who's a cat person, even I agree that that was the best store in the mall. Definitely an A-tier mall. And there we have it. Only 9 new malls this time instead of introducing you guys to 16 like I did last time. But trust me, there are plenty more Florida malls to talk about. So a lot of them I haven't even been to yet, because there seems to be a large concentration of malls in the Miami area. And since it's a 4-hour drive for me, I gotta definitely take a whole day to get out there. But don't worry, the next Florida mall tier list will not take 2 years to come out. Just maybe a few months. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love talking about malls. It's just one of my favorite things to do. Katrina and I love to go to malls for all different types of reasons. And I hope you guys enjoy hearing me talk about them and put them in a tier list. Oh, and before I forget, this is the final tier list of the day. This will be the current one that we will transfer over into the next video. And if you want to see another Florida Mall tier list, why don't you like the video and make sure you subscribe. That helps me so much. You know, even if you don't want another Florida Mall tier list video, you should still like and subscribe. Also follow my Instagram and Facebook at Let's Be Frank 2020, and follow my TikTok at Let's Be Frank TikTok. With all that being said, once again, guys, I'm really thankful for you watching. Truly, I get to talk about what I like with you guys. What's not to like? Until next time.